WDRS Talk is made possible by the Anchor app. If you've never heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's absolutely free and allows you to make your own podcast on your phone or on your computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast on platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can make money from your podcast as well without a minimum membership. It's all you need to make a podcast in one place. So, go and download your Anchor app for free, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started today.
You're listening to the Wolf's Den Radio Show. Talk.
Hey, sisters and brothers, this is WDRS Talk, the Wolf's Den Radio Show Talk, and I am your host, your brother from another mother, and spreading some cosmic love. This is Wolf Himora. I want to thank you very much for joining me once again for another episode of this humble podcast of mine. And thank you very much for your support. And I got a good one for you today, episode 27, season 2. This is the second episode of season 2. And I want to thank everybody who listened and tuned in to last week's or the last episode, episode 26, featuring the Queen of Pinoy Rock, Sampaguita. It's gotten over 600 views, the most that's ever gotten for this podcast. So thank you very much for your support and for clicking that play button. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. So you'll get fresh episodes as they come out of the oven. And if you're listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, please give those pages a follow as well so that you get those episodes, like I said, fresh out of the kitchen. So anyway, what is up, people? I don't know, man. There's no more war in Afghanistan. Holy shit. Who would have thunk? I've never seen a war end in my lifetime. Of course, the Vietnam War ended in my lifetime. There's still a war in Iraq, I think. This is the first time that I've ever seen an American president say, we're not, no more war. The war is over. So anyway, as a peaceful person, the less there is war, the better for the world. Good luck to all those people in Afghanistan who are stuck there with the Taliban in power. Man, you guys got to fight for your country if you want to. But over here in the Western world, we are all thinking of you and your safety and your rights and all of that stuff. We're with you. So anyway, what else? Some good news. I don't know, man. I'm here. Sampaguita's doing well. I can't complain. And just please, if you haven't been vaccinated yet, come on, man. Come on, girl. Let's go. What are we waiting for? The Pfizer vaccine has been FDA approved, so no more excuses. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Be brave. It's okay. It'll save your life. All right. So this episode 27, second episode of season 2, it's going to be Mr. Patrick Reidenbach of Club Dredd fame. He pretty much, him and his cohorts of that, they pretty much, how should I say, started a subculture of Filipino rock and roll music and rock and roll musicians by starting this little bar called Club Dredd in the middle of this really small place in Quezon City. I mean, Quezon City is a huge place, but it was in Tomas Morato area. And unfortunately, I never went to that original Club Dredd because I didn't know about it. I did not know about it until it was too late. I think they had closed by the time, I heard what they were, or I mean, I had heard about what they were, but I was intimidated to check it out. But I think Miguel Ortigas and Tirso Ripoll of Razorback at the time they visited Club Dredd. They jammed out there, the original one, because it was a weird. I wouldn't say rivalry, but I mean because in personally I didn't even know Club Dredd existed, so I had no animosity for anything. But apparently people outside of Makati have a problem with people from Makati, and I'm not even from Makati. But of course, Wolfgang and Razorback, we were based in Makati. And so I guess we had a reputation for them, and I don't know what it was, but hey. Anyway, going back to that, Miguel and Tirso, they jammed over there. And I think some Club Dredd bands also came over to the Kalye to play. And I think Patrick had played in a band too, and he played in Kalye also. So anyway, like I said, he pretty much started a subculture, and Club Dredd is a very important footnote of the huge and massive 90s Pinoy rock explosion. It's instrumental, definitely instrumental. Club Dredd, Mayrix, Kalye Bar, Weekends Live, those four names, those four bars that had bands in them, that had bands play in them, was if it weren't for those four bars, those four clubs. Let me say them again. Club Dredd, Mayrix over there in España, in front of UST. Kalye Bar in Makati, Salcedo Village. That's where Razorback played. That's where Coco Jam played. That's where The Breed played. And then you had Weekends Live in Makati Ave at the Atrium Building. That's where Wolfgang played. That's where Wolfgang played there. River Maya played there. They would play a couple of gigs there. Who else? Advent Call. That's the first band of Carl Roy. That's where we first met Carl and all the other guys from Advent Call. And so many bands passed through Weekends Live. So those four bars are responsible for the breeding ground. They are the breeding ground for all the bands that came in the 90s. So, and spearheading that club movement, that bar movement was Club Dredd. So we'll be talking to the guy who started it all. And I hope you enjoy this one. Please continue supporting the show. Even though you don't know Patrick, that's why I interviewed him, so you would know more about him, know more about the history of Club Dredd and the parallel journey it took over, his side over there in Club Dredd while I experienced the Weekends Live and Kalye journey. And we compare notes. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Like I said again, please subscribe to the channel. And also, I forgot, you can also donate to the show. Just go to the Anchor.fm on the internet, and there is also an Anchor app, and you can donate money to WDRS Talk. And I've already had a couple of monthly subscribers over there. Thank you very much for your support, and I really, really appreciate it. So there you go. Thank you again for your support. Episode 27. This is the guy who started Club Dredd, Patrick Reedenbach. Enjoy. Patrick Reedenbach, thank you for gracing us with your presence on WDR Stock. Man, how are you?
How are you, Wolf? I'm doing fine. We're still alive. Nasa
All
Magdamo.
right. Did you have you gotten jabbed already?
Yeah, I got my 2 doses last May.
Oh
So,
wow. Okay. Cool. Then
uh,
you're good to go.
well, yeah, I at least I'm not so stressed out anymore. Worried about what might happen. That was the past year. That was the stress. Back.
Oh
What
yeah.
you're always worried that I'm gonna die or something. I have to worry about how are my kids gonna cope if I'm gone.
Wow.
Di ba?
That's
You
you
have to
had
think.
that stress, huh?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you have kids, ba?
No, man. That's why
Uh-huh.
I can't relate.
Uh-huh.
So I
Yeah.
but I mean, I understand. I can't relate because I don't have any
Mhm.
kids, but I can understand the feeling. But
Yeah. So my wife and I, that was our worry. As long as for me, kasi that's the parang when you're talking about Maslow's pyramid of survival is number one, di ba? So
right.
now that that's passed, and so we can worry more about other stuff like playing the drums and going live again.
Yeah, yeah, man. So what's life for you now as a fully vaxxed person in Manila?
Okay, it's still the same, man. I'm still keeping social distance. I'm still, what do you call this, wearing my mask all over the place. I still rarely go out. There have been actual, like, my high school reunions and whatnot with the fully vaxxed guys, but I've been avoiding them. The reason being, my daughter's still not vaccinated. So until
Oh,
she
okay.
gets hers, I know that it's low risk and that she'll probably what they call this have a low chance of getting sick, diba? Kasi it hardly affects young people, but
How old
still,
is she? What's her age?
15.
15. Well, what I would say, this is the interesting thing, and
Mhm.
I heard this on Joe Rogan, his podcast, Joe Rogan Experience.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I mean, and it's like he was saying he was complaining because he's a health guy. He takes care of himself and he does martial arts and weight lifts and all
Mhm.
of that. So he was saying that he was talking to these doctors and physicians and they're and scientists, and they're saying they're during that time last year, all they were saying is mask, put a mask, wash your hands, social distance, but no one was promoting good health.
Yeah.
No one was promoting, oh, drink your vitamins, drink.
Sleep
So the whole,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
sleep well. That whole time, drink. Stay hydrated. I hydrated all the time.
Exercise. Bill Maher was one other guy that kept promoting that
Yeah,
diet and exercise.
yeah. Like the main medicines that he was mentioning was vitamin D, very
Mhm.
important. Zinc, very important,
Mhm.
and then of course your vitamin C. And this
Mhm.
is all to promote your immune system,
Yeah.
so that even if, like, let's say, I mean, I started taking vitamin C when I was 13, as a supplement already.
Mhm.
So it's like if the kids are doing that, they supplement their food, especially nowadays where I don't know the food nowadays that kids eat. Well, I mean,
We try to keep it healthy pa rin.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, it's fun to have junk food once in a while.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway, is there
I,
uh
I, I agree that keeping healthy is important. Not just it's the best way to defend against these diseases, and
yeah,
yeah. So I've increased my activity. I was looking at last year, grabe. I was hardly doing steps, so I'm doing more steps and walking and jogging. So at least kasi grabe din. I gained weight.
yeah,
I
man.
gained 10 pounds. So I lost it already. I'm back
Uh-huh.
to my pre-COVID weight, but I'm still overweight. I'm bordering on obese in terms
Oh
of
my,
BMI.
oh
So
wow. Well, that's the same thing happened to me, man, because everything was closed, everything
Mm.
was by delivery, and
Yeah.
my job as a caregiver,
Mm.
we couldn't go out
Yeah.
to eat, so
Mm.
order in, tas
Mm.
puro hamburger, pastrami
Everything's
sandwich,
delivered.
and
Exactly.
there's nowhere to go. So you're just indoors, so you
Mm.
don't. Oh man, that whole pandemic time, I
Hey,
wasn't taking
speaking
care
of
of myself.
pastrami, are you familiar in Pasadena? They have this place called Hat's Pastrami.
Well, there is a franchise called The Hat. That's probably what you're talking about. The Hat.
Okay, it's Hat's Pastrami because my sister-in-law brought us there, and I've eaten
Uh-huh.
there twice, and it's like really, really great. Really, very low maintenance place. It's like a grocery, and then you
Yeah.
order it.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like Delhi style.
yeah, it's like a deli. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, those are the best.
I want to go back to I want to go back to that. I miss that so
If
much.
here in America, and I don't know where else because I've never been anywhere else. Not in Spain. I've been to Spain. I
Mm.
don't. They don't. And they have delis there too. I mean,
Yeah,
the whole market.
this one's like greasy with where they dip the whole sandwich in the oil and whatnot. It's
Oh
like
my God! Wow.
delicious talaga,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Hats pastrami.
Yeah, hats. Over here we have the man. It's called the Hat. I
Mm.
don't know if they're
Pero
related.
malayo ka sa Pasadena, no?
Oh yeah, very far,
Yeah.
man.
That's
It's
what I found out. It's like when I didn't realize how huge LA was. It's like what they call this. I looked at it. It's equivalent of the great Metro Manila plus Cavite and Laguna ata or something like that.
yeah. Wow, really?
Yeah, so yun nga, yung idea na, hey, I think I'll go visit Wolf or I'll go visit
Oh
Pam.
gosh.
Yeah, it's like what do you call this? You're like going from Pampanga to Laguna every time, and
Yeah,
so
man.
and we didn't have a car, so it's not like it's so you can't just commute.
No, man.
Um,
It's impossible. I
mm,
mean that's why that was very challenging for
mm,
us as Locomotive and Three-Headed Dog when we were playing here
mm, mm,
because you can the people that you rely on, your friends.
mm,
I mean, if you play in Hollywood and they even if they live in LA,
mm,
it's still far. But if you're from Glendale, let's say Glendale,
mm,
there's a big Filipino community there,
uh,
and then you're playing in Hollywood. That's
mm,
still a 30-minute drive, and that when I say 30 minutes, that's
mm,
30-minute top speed. Not top
mm.
speed, but high speed. Freeway.
No, walang traffic.
Na walang traffic, so that's still far, man. That's
Mm,
far. So that was always a challenge, man. And then of course the band from here, my place,
mm,
it's an hour to Hollywood without traffic. So if
uh-huh.
you if when you hit the downtown Los Angeles, which is always traffic every day, even
Mm,
on Sunday, it's crazy.
mm.
And then you add another 30 minutes. So it'll take 90 minutes to get from my house from my house to Amoeba Records is 90
Mm.
minutes. I have timed it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it becomes a special occasion just going there. Yeah. I haven't been south in a long time. Like let's say to Parañaque and
Uh-huh.
those areas. Di ba, we have a lot of friends from there, that area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I haven't been there in a long time. Even just going to 19 East to watch a show is like such a big deal. This is
Oh gosh.
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
It's post-COVID na ngayon. So ano talaga.
Where are you in the city?
Quezon City. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
near UP and Ateneo. That's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know that area. I used to live in Visayas Avenue, man.
that's a bit
Where
far.
no, I used to live where in the village where Chito lives now,
Mm-hmm.
and it was also the. You remember that band Weed,
Yeah.
yung long hair, that song Long
Mm-hmm.
Hair. Yeah, the bass player lived in that same village.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, Chito, me, and the guy from Weed, we were all in the same subdivision. That was
Well,
really funny, man.
yeah, I live in La Vista. My neighbor is Inky the Joss.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
before si Boogie Romero also used to live in La Vista, but he moved out na. He moved to Baguio. Eh.
Uh-huh.
So,
Oh, wow, Baguio.
yeah. Sayang kasi like my son was learning guitar, he just walked over to Boogie's house to take his
Yeah.
lessons. Then my daughter took piano lessons with Inky. She just walked over to his house.
Yeah. Do you have a band set up at home?
Yes, yeah.
All right, man.
My daughter is my bandmate.
Oh, hell, cool. Acoustic drums?
I have an acoustic set and an electronic set.
Oh,
So
wow.
the acoustic set I play rarely because my neighbor's an asshole and
It always has to be that neighbor, man.
yeah. It's
The mortal enemy of drummers, dude. I tell you, man.
yeah, grabe. He's really rude. No. Anyway, that's a long
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, no, that's not. We won't give him too much attention.
Yeah, I have an electronic set, so at least in the middle of the night, nangate ako, I can just put on the
Yeah,
headphones.
cool. Do you play along music? Do you play along with the songs?
Yeah.
Like what would you? What's your go-to?
Well,
Like
from this one,
if you're feeling good, what's your feel good drum
uh,
alongs?
Chili Peppers, like Danny California is fun to play, or what do you call this? Something like that. Ayan, I'm trip ko ngayon yung guilty pleasure, si Maroon 5.
Oh, Maroon 5.
I like the groove lang.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're groovy, man. I mean, I'm just so annoyed with the singer. I mean, that's really what it is. But
That's not what I'm listening to.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's cool. I mean, if it's groove, yeah. I mean, it's groove oriented.
What do I listen to? Halo eh. The cult. What do you call this? I can't think. There's this YouTube channel where they have all these minus ones, so that's the one it's fun to play along with.
Oh, nice. Without the drums?
Yeah, it's minus one without the drums.
Oh, that's
Drumless.
cool. Actually, I never knew that. Oh, man.
Yeah, and Razorback has a Spotify. They have like 5 songs they put in there. You can play what do you call this? You can play let's say Tabi ng Bulkan. You take out the bass, then you can just play bass together with you can jam with them.
Oh,
Or you vocals, it becomes minus one. You can take out the drums and then
so wait. So the track is already drumless or bassless?
They set it up so you can choose which track.
Oh, wow. So it's like one track is no vocals and then no. Wow, that's cool. Wow.
It's Spotify.
Okay, yeah.
That's so much fun. That's fun to play with. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. My God.
Channeling Brian, di ba? When I'm
Yeah,
playing.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Brian, man.
Yeah, nice way to remember him, di ba?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, that guy was so good. I mean, what was when he joined Razorback, because he was the classmate of my younger sister, 5 years younger. So he's 5 years younger than I am.
Mhm.
And we knew him already because of that. And then their other classmate was Dave's best friend. And so everybody knew each other from that batch, of theirs. And he was a kid, man, when he joined Razorback. Oh my God. And he got hazed, man, but not physically, but they and I think it wasn't intentional. I don't know. I'm just
The new guy.
the new guy. But there was also another side that they were like pushing him to hit hard, because when he joined, he was still under the influence of I remember this Stephen Perkins of James. No, I mean Perkins is awesome, but he's not a solid rock style. He's a rock drummer, but the style is not heavy rock. So Miguel Ortigas is mabigat yung kamay pa, di ba? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so they would they would really push him and really push him, like, on the verge of I don't know, of really getting mad. It's like, just fucking play louder and stuff like that. But eventually got it, man. And then he developed his own style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got the groove of yung Perkins, but the power of Ortigas.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I like it so much pala.
Yeah, the dexterity of Stephen Perkins.
Wait, just a second. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the Honda naman. You want to say hi to Wolf? No. No, no daw. Yun. So I'm sorry. Yeah. So he's got the groove of Perkins and the power of Ortigas, diba? That's
Yeah.
why combination.
Really good. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. Did you get to see already? Pig Dog.
Only on video.
Yeah, that's a all-star lineup.
Yeah.
That's good. I was supposed to watch them live just before the COVID. Tas nagkasakit ako that night. Sayang. Now I didn't. I hope they'll still be together once we're playing again.
Yeah,
I really
sure.
live, grabe. I'm so ingit with you guys there. But how is it nga pala? Is there like a resurgence of the virus?
Yeah, because in LA County, because LA County, the situation is most of the 99% of the cases are unvaccinated people. In one reason or another, they were unvaxxed, because there are different types of people who don't want to get vaccinated. There are the conspiracy theorists, the idiotic people who listen to other idiotic people, and they don't believe in science. And then, of course, the last president here just drove that nail into that coffin of their brain. And they just lost. I don't know, man. It's weird. And then you have another group of people, the African American community. They do not trust the U.S. government because the reason is that back in I don't know the full story.
I read about that where they sterilized them by or something like that.
Well, it happened to the Tuskegee Airmen. The black pilots during
the Red Tails.
Yes, the Red Tails, exactly. And I don't know exactly what the story is, but they stuck a needle in those guys, and somehow it didn't. They were. I think maybe it was like It was still experimental vaccines, and they were testing it out on them. Because they were, unfortunately, during that time, even until now, but especially during that time, black people were not treated. They on the surface it was there, but treated well, but below that, very shallowy below that surface is like sinister shit.
So these are uneducated blacks naman siguro, no? Not the educated ones.
No, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
I would think
I mean, it's also bordering on conspiracy theory, But it is the truth that the story is that they were used as guinea pigs. Yeah. So now what's happening is like when you watch, on television or on YouTube or on the internet, you have these black celebrities promoting the vaccine. Like John Legend or whoever. They're black people, and they're promoting it. It's like without saying that, because it's like general knowledge that a lot of black people don't trust it. So the black celebrities are going on in public and saying, "I got it." They're going like showing their shot. Showing them getting the shot, the needle going in, as in talagang this is for real, man. You don't be scared. You got to do it, because if you don't, this Delta variant is worse. than the original, man. I mean, because it's
And
mutated.
supposedly, even young people though get hit by it, diba?
Yeah, the young people are getting hit because the virus will mutate
Mm.
if it can't host in old people because all the old people are
Mm.
already fully vaccinated. They're gonna go. It's gonna go somewhere else. It's gonna find the ones that don't have that vaccine.
Yeah.
This is the
Mm.
misinformation that the last president just did
Grabe. Ano talaga yun?
the whole time and he got it.
And the asshole took the vaccine himself, right?
He took the vaccine himself. All of them did.
And that
Okay, here's the
Rupert
new.
Murdoch also got the vaccine.
Yes,
Mga assholes talaga.
this is the new thing that just happened. I think maybe either today or yesterday
Mm.
was that in Fox News. This is the last of the politics, and then we'll move on. But this is
Okay.
so. But this is really funny and serious at the same time.
Okay.
So the number one guys on Fox News
Mhm.
is Tucker Carlson and someone else. I forget.
Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And Hannity, I guess.
yes, that guy. Yeah. So they are this whole time they were always anti-vax, anti-vax, anti-vax because the last president politicized it. So
Yeah.
they had to piggyback on that to show support
To
to
pander
that.
to the base.
To pander. Yes, exactly. To pander to the base. I like how you think, man. You know what I'm talking about. So it just came out, a report came out. And here in the States, that those reporting, that's why in the Philippines, I'm telling you, man, those people in the press in the Philippines, they have so much respect for them because it is so hard to be a journalist nowadays in the
Yeah.
Philippines, pa. Oh my God. So 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 now this report came out that those guys, everyone in Fox News
Mm.
now requires everybody to have a vaccine card before going into the building. You cannot go into the building without a card.
Mhm.
So that means they're all vaxxed. But until now, they're still doing the narrative.
Mhm.
And that report came out. So it's like, wow, man. I mean, everyone already knows that Fox is dubious, pare. They're always like that.
Pero they're fucking hypocrites, diba?
Yeah, man. But anyway, so that's what's happening. That's here in Orange County. Most of the people here are families and seniors.
Mhm.
There's very little resistance. There are those those people that support that guy, um, who are pasaway as usual,
Mhm.
and but most of the people got vaccinated. I mean, everyone. Orange County was like, we are not going down like LA,
Mhm.
you know.
So
And
you don't consider yourself LA?
no, I'm Orange County. It's a different county. It's a smaller one. It's
Yeah.
like the size of LA, and then it's probably half or even smaller, smaller than half of LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's no. I guess it's like Metro Manila and then your Batangas or something like that, or your Laguna, which is next to it. Next to.
Or north like Bulacan. I think Orange
Mm.
County is like Bulacan because Bulacan's kind of big.
Yeah.
It's a large province, but not
Mm.
So Orange County is like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and
My
then
sister-in-law was in Pasadena, so that's where we'd go.
did you visit? Did she take you to the Huntington Library?
No.
Oh man, next time you go there, you have to visit that place, dude.
Mhm.
It's because in Los Angeles there were when it was still new,
Mm.
just when Hollywood transferred there from New York. I mean, all the movie guys went from New York to LA, and then you had all of these rich people that owned the land in LA and Orange County. And these rich people like Getty, and then the Getty Museum, that guy, and then oh gosh, there's another guy.
Huntington Museum, huh?
Huh?
Huntington Museum.
Huntington Library.
A library. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the Huntington family, and they were like the one of the richest families in Los Angeles. You know, like traditionally rich, like old rich. And
Yeah, I think this was supposed to be on our agenda, but ang problem, this is near Pasadena, right?
it's in Pasadena, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to be in our, but siguro we had to drop it. I can't recall why, but yeah. I'm looking at the website now. Yes. Our challenge talaga with LA nga was transpo. So
Yeah.
it's like, syempre, my, it's not like we can ask my sister-in-law's mom to drive us around like a cab, diba? And well, we didn't really have, we couldn't really afford a Grab or an Uber. Just everywhere you go, you have to.
Man, and then if you hit traffic, oh shit, you're dead, man.
Yeah. So what do you call this? That was our challenge. Kasi remember we were supposed to watch Iron Maiden. I had invited
Oh
you.
yeah.
That was a big production just to go there, and then my sister-in-law's mom had to pick me up, and so that's from what's the name of that arena, the
Forum.
the Forum. So all the way
Yeah.
from Pasadena to the Forum, she had to drive just to
Oh
pick me
dude,
up.
that's so far.
Diba? I mean, so nakahiya eh. I mean,
Yeah, I understand.
it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that every day. Unlike sa Bay Area, you can commute. Pero
Yeah.
we tried commuting, pero it's kind of, well, to be honest, it's medyo nakaka-nervous inside the train with
The train, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's Los Angeles, man. I mean, all kinds of people are there, man. All kinds of people. I'm
Yeah, well,
telling you.
kami
Oh
lang
my God.
hindi okay lang. Pero we were with our daughter, and it's like, the street performers, the big black guys would come in and start doing their then they
Oh
ask
yeah. Yeah. I mean, Los Angeles, man. It's like I do not know like how people from the Midwest who've never been to LA and they come there and they see, I mean, of course they see whatever they see in the movies, TV, and then when they actually go there and they go to Los Angeles and then they just see all kinds of people. I wonder what it feels like, because I mean, Filipinos, we're used to that, because in the Philippines there's all kinds of people there too,
That's true, yeah.
it's like a hub, it's
Ay, grabe. You land in the airport in the West Coast. Half the TSA and the immigration people are Pinoy. It's like I don't feel
you don't feel like you're in another country.
I remember going there in the 80s. Ayon, talagang everyone was American talaga, but ngayon everyone's speaking Tagalog. It's like you're so it's I'm not the travel stress is really reduced kasi para saan ba yung ganit gate for? Di ba yung ganun? We can ask someone that.
Man. I mean, if you
kasi di ba yung itsura ko hindi
yeah.
Nagugulat na lang sila na Pilipino ka pala.
The never-ending mistizo. Ay, Pinoy ka pala. It's funny. So yeah, I mean, gosh, I mean.
Yeah, so
I wanted
to visit Melody. I wanted to, and it's such a big production just to go. There was what's this? Is it a battleship museum or something? Meron din dyan. We wanted to go to that. But we got to do the basics, the usual tourist stuff. Disneyland. What else did we go to? Universal Studios.
Yeah. What I would suggest, if ever you come back, whenever that is, because I'm sure you will, you should plan it like if you're going to do a Disneyland,
Mm.
do everything because Disneyland is in Orange County. It's in Anaheim.
Okay.
So if
Mhm.
you're gonna go there, you make a plan to go to Laguna Beach, all the
Mhm.
beach, all the like you go to PCH and just go down those beach cities,
Is
and
that where
then
Malibu is?
well, Malibu is in LA. That Malibu is far, man.
Mm.
Malibu is actually far.
Okay.
Yeah.
I, I, I,
Uh,
it's hard for me pa rin to, kasi when you look at the map, it looks like, uy, magkatabi lang sila.
Para
It's like
California is bigger
our,
than the land mass of California is bigger than the Philippines, man. If
I
you
think
put the
so, yeah.
Philippines, if you compact all the islands, it's smaller than California. It's
I know. I
far
mean,
here,
because,
dude.
San Francisco to LA is like Manila to Davao, parang, or more pa.
Yeah, yeah. So from my door
Hmm.
to let's say the toll gate that you have to go through to get to the city in San Francisco is 9 hours.
Mhm.
9 hours yan. Of
Mhm.
driving. And this
Yeah.
is like freeway talagang high speed.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's far, dude. 9 hours of
Mhm.
ganyan.
Yeah.
I mean, Baguio was what?
Well, now it's like 4 hours siguro
Yeah,
with the,
4 hours.
or three,
That's
four
that's
hours.
not that's not even half of going
Mhm.
to San Francisco. My
Mhm.
gosh.
Parang na
So
siguro yan.
yeah, but
Mhm.
but these days, people rarely go for long drives because I mean, gasoline is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cheaper to ride a plane
Oo.
and it's faster. I mean, from here to from the airport here in Orange County to San Francisco,
I
45
thought we're
minutes.
gonna have what do you call this? A parang train. They're gonna set up.
Oh, those plan. Yeah, wala. No, nothing happened. I mean, something. It was pre-COVID.
Mm.
The project was halted for some reason. I
Mm.
forget, and it was controversial. I mean, of course, it all boils down to money. There was a problem with
Yeah.
the money, the
Mm-hmm.
the budget
Kasi
for it.
that's the problem with the US and Philippines, yung car culture. Walang mass transpo. So that's really one of the challenges. I
Yeah,
mean, diba, just to take a train from LA to high speed train, that would be practical, right? Rather than take a plane. But anyway, hey,
dude.
what happened? Sorry, politics
Oh,
again.
yeah,
Diba
yeah.
your governor was being recalled? What happened there?
Well, there's a vote. So in
Okay.
November, there's going to be a vote.
Asa November pa to.
Yeah, because November it has to be on election day, no matter what. You can't just have a snap election that doesn't exist here. You know,
Okay.
that only happens in banana republics, pare.
Mhm.
Um, and so November there because whoever was going against him, which of course the
Mhm.
Republicans, they were gathering signatures. That's how you get that. I know if you have. Yeah, I think you need 1 million signatures. So they gathered 1 million signatures against him.
Is that
So
minority lang there, or it annoys you
yeah,
minority?
of course, yeah, it's a minority. I mean, it's only 1 million.
So you think that
California has more than 1 million people here.
the thing will fail? The
Well, the
parang
thing,
lang.
what happened is that when the vaccines, it really came down to when the vaccine started.
Mhm.
So right now, in the whole of California, it seems that LA County is the only one that's really getting that spike in
Mhm.
cases, and not
Mhm.
anywhere else. So that's already the. It's not really his problem directly. It has to be the problem of the mayor of LA. That's his
Mhm.
direct problem. So they have to handle that. The local government. Of course, he
Mhm.
has responsibility too because he's the governor. But since then, since that recall, whatever, he's sort of. I mean, the news came out last week that he's sending out another round of stimulus check, $600 to
Mhm.
Californians. So all of that lessens the blow.
Mhm.
It's like when you get the $600, no matter what, you still need that money no matter what.
Mhm.
So you'd
You
be like,
get
well, huh?
Do you also get it, or just LA County?
No, I think this one. I'm not sure if it's everybody or if it's for families who have people have children,
Mm-hmm.
because they're paying. They're giving the kid the money. Of course, the parents will collect it, but it's really for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a citizen. They're counting the child as a citizen, so you get a check as a citizen. I mean, so that's going to lessen the blow, because people are like, oh, the government, Newsom gave me $600.
Yeah.
I'll maybe, and then uh, he was, I think he made he's giving money to like restaurants that need to be opened or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, that need the help. So he's doing everything in his power to make up for what happened, you know, because he was really strict on the lockdowns. There were so many lockdowns, uh, and a lot of businesses really failed. Of course, the opposition, they jump on that
Yeah.
idea, you know, and they really, really. I mean, I remember I would go to this local grocery, and then there was a guy there gathering signatures,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, "Sir, he'll just call out to you, and then if you want, cool. If you don't, it's okay." He
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Sir, you wanna, I'm doing a Newsom recall." I'm like, "No, thank you." It's like, "So you're satisfied with what he's doing?" It's like, "I got no problem with him." So you're like that, and then you just walk, you go inside the grocery, and then he won't bother you anymore. So it's
Yeah.
interesting,
Otherwise,
this country is very interesting, man. I mean, that is if you're wondering American democracy is, that's it.
uh-huh.
It's like you can talk na, oh, so ano, pare, ang problema mo? It's like, wala akong problema, pare. Ito ako, ikaw yan. And then if you're conversing with a decent person, they're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be in your face.
Yeah.
They'll just let it go. It's like, well, okay. Now if you encounter an asshole, well, shit, then you're stuck with arguing with an asshole.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, it's becoming personalan. That's the
yeah,
weird
man,
thing. It's like,
personal.
mm,
But actually, the weird thing is, well, in the most part, people are decent. For the
mm,
most part, I've never encountered and I've never seen altercations like. But my sister has. She
mm,
was like, this was early on, and then I think the first lift of the restrictions were lifted really light, so
mm,
you had to wait outside the store to get in.
mm,
There was a line to get into to the grocery, so limited
mm,
capacity and all that. So my sister was in line for Walmart, and it's pretty much the grocery, the store for the masa. I
mm,
mean, the masa, ordinary
mm,
people. Um, so she's in line, and then there was this one guy and his girlfriend, and they were, uh, for lack of a better term, they were jologs. Okay,
mm,
jologs, man. And he had no mask. Both of them had no mask. So the guy in the line who's letting people in, it's like, you can't come in without a mask, sir. And
mm,
this guy just starts going off.
mm,
It's like, oh, you're the script. You're
uh-huh.
trampling on my freedom.
Mm,
So of course, everyone in the line, and my sister's like, oh my god, what's one of them? And
mm,
then this guy, he was like talking and shouting at at the store, at the
mm,
store guy, and my sister, and the sun is, it's like the sun's low, and then she could see his spit like going off in the sun,
mm,
reflecting in the sunlight or whatever, because he was shouting,
uh-huh.
and then she just like, she couldn't take it, and she's like, just get away, man, just get away, your saliva is she couldn't take it anymore, so she told him off. And the guy's like, you can't come in without a mask, or you want to call the cops?
Mm,
And they're just like, yeah, let's call the cops. Yeah, okay, let's call the cops. They're going to tell you the same thing. You can't go in without a mask. So but it's really rare. It's not like, I guess when you see it on the internet so much, you think it's rampant, but it's
Yeah, of
really
course.
rare. I mean, most people are decent. So
What about those anti-Asian attacks? Are they still, and again, is it like,
no, not really, because the Asians fought back. And they I don't know. It's just that do you remember that? I don't know if you saw this. I posted this video of this in Chinatown in SF,
mhm,
and it was a Chinese lady, local, and she was attacked by a white dude,
mhm.
and she fought back,
Yeah,
and
she kicked his
yeah,
ass.
she kicked his ass, right?
Mhm.
He was you saw that he was in a gurney, being taken away in an ambulance.
And she was still attacking him. Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean,
she was so pissed off.
so when you see that, so when those kinds of people they see that on the internet, they'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna fuck with these people because they fight
Yeah,
back.
it's like you.
You know?
I would imagine you're a young person pa, pero yung target nila are mga elderly, di ba?
Oh
So
yeah, and that's another thing. They were targeting elderly people. It's like, what are you crazy? Because
because
it's
they're
all
bullies nga. The idea is
yeah,
if I go after you, I'm probably gonna get punched back. But if you're like an 80-year-old guy, I can knock you over.
yeah, and
That I think that was the idea. That's what I was wondering about.
yeah.
Because you have titos and titas there, di ba? And then they're medyo singkit or ano, and
I
then
know. I had a friend. Oh wait, before I tell you about my friend, I won't say the name, but um uh oh gosh, what was I going to say? Those yeah, because they can't they and the funny thing is, like, I think those guys, those racist stupid idiots, they have this racist idea that every Asian knows karate or martial arts and they will beat you up with the martial arts.
oh,
That's
okay.
probably the racist stereotype that I'm not gonna fuck with the young
Mm-hmm.
Asians because they're gonna kick my ass.
Mm-hmm.
See, so now they have to pick on the old person
Mm-hmm.
because whatever. So this guy got his ass kicked because she
So
probably
now
kung
even the
fu his
old
ass,
people
pare.
they can kung fu me also.
Yeah, pa. And of course, kinung fu siya
No,
nung lola, pare, di ba? Because
that's good to know.
I'm sure that Lola does Tai Chi every morning. So she's she
Mhm.
knows she has balance or whatever.
Or she
And
just has a good attitude. Because yun nga naman yung bully, di ba? The concept of the bully is they like to intimidate, but very easily intimidated themselves, di ba? So
yeah,
as long as malakas loob mo, they'll back down.
yeah, man.
Yeah. So anyway, good for her.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's happening there, and uh, these are all isolated, really rare isolated
Yeah, kasi
incidents, man.
when you check the news, it looks like it's happening every day, left and right.
Yeah, yeah. Except for the police brutality in the black community, that happens a lot. So I'm not going to talk about that. I have no idea because it doesn't get shown in the news, so you don't know. No one really knows except for them.
But like you, do you get discriminated? Like you're driving your car, you get pulled over or something. Does that
No,
happen?
no. Well, for one thing, a lot of locals, they don't know what the hell I am.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think I'm Mexican. Some people think I'm this.
Okay, so
You know.
you're like a local. That's you don't look
Oh no,
foreign.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not a foreigner. Well, I mean, if I'm with a bunch of other Caucasians, yeah, I'll stick out like a sore thumb, for
No, but
sure.
not in this. If you're in the Midwest, but you're in
Oh
West
no, I
Coast.
mean there are areas here that it's just like that.
Oh,
It's
white
just
people.
yeah, man. The richer areas, yeah, puro puti dyan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I mean, so but my point is, if I go there and I'm in with a bunch of white people. I'm not white. I mean, I'm fair skinned, but I'm not a white guy. I'm not Caucasian. My nose is my nose is round. It's not pointy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've felt the fucking look. I felt the fucking look, man.
Mm-hmm.
This one time, I promise the audience, whoever's listening, we're gonna get to the music soon. But
Okay,
this,
we can edit
no,
it
but
out.
this, no, but
We
this is
haven't
fun
talked
anyway.
in a long time. And
No,
yeah.
but this is fun, man. I mean, we haven't conversed in a long time, so it's cool.
Mhm.
So uh, there's this hotel in near my house in Laguna Beach,
Mhm, mhm,
and it's called the Montage,
mhm,
and it's like the most expensive hotel, like here in Southern California,
mhm,
like thousands for one night for one
mhm,
person. When the price in hotel prices are by person, right, not the
mhm,
room. So it's like thousands of dollars for, and it's right on the beach. It's on a cliff,
mhm,
and the thing here is that no matter how expensive your resort is, the beach itself is public property. So anyone can go there. You can't close up you can't close your area of the beach.
mhm, mhm,
So um, my friend and I, at the height of summer, if it's a normal, no pandemic, whatever, that place is just jam packed, no parking. Yeah, everyone's in the beach. So he goes, well, I guess let's just park in the hotel and then walk to the beach. Their
mhm,
beach, we can just go through the hotel. I go, fine. Okay. Mahal ng parking kasi montage, pare.
mhm, mhm.
$40 for the
Wow.
park. Dude,
Wow.
$40, man. So we
Mhm,
split it 20 each. I mean, even if you split it, it's still expensive,
mhm, mhm,
20 bucks. But it's like, okay, whatever. And then but then you have to go through the hotel, down to the
mhm,
swimming pool, down to the beach.
mhm,
So we had we had our gear,
mhm,
for beach gear, and then I had this straw hat that's a really wide brim, like
mhm,
like in the rice fields, those are
mhm,
wide brim straw hats, because that's the best kind of headwear for summer here in California.
mhm,
It's so hot, man. That's the best
mhm,
kind of hat. So we go through the lobby, and this hotel is just like wow, first class, world class,
mhm,
first class. Going in there with the farmer hat,
mhm,
dude. I got some looks, man. I got some looks like what the fuck are you doing in here? It's like stuff like
mhm,
that, It's like a couple of looks, and I'm like, tang ina mga to, kala nyo kung sino kayo, hindi nyo lang ako
mhm,
kilala, pare, hindi nyo lang alam kung saan ako galing, tang ina.
mhm,
Minamata nyo na ako ng ganun. So I felt it, and it was funny. But the funniest thing is that when we got back to go back to, our beach hang was done, we go get our car again. So we give, valet, they pick up the car, so you're right there in the driveway waiting, no? There was this other couple waiting, and it was a really a taller white gentleman and his wife, who was clearly Asian, and I would wager she was Filipino,
mhm,
either Filipino or she was Filipino, man. Anyway,
mhm,
so their car arrives before ours, and I'm wearing the same thing with the straw hat. I look like a farmer, dude. And and then she gets in her. It was like an Escalade, a big SUV.
mhm. SUV.
Gets in the they get into the back seat. Of course, they have their chauffeur, the driver, and she right when they close the door, she gives me the look, pare.
Mhm,
She gives me that look. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here? It's like, who? And then I give her another, and then I smile. I just smile, I just like,
mhm,
it's like, dude, we're the same, pare. If you're Filipino, I'm Filipino. Why are you looking at me like that? Like you're better than me,
mhm,
just because you're in that Escalade. It's like, and you can tell when they look. It's like whoa, it's a piercing look that they're
mhm,
trying to really. They're surprised that they see someone like you there. It's like that, and
mhm,
then mixed with, I don't know, man. I just felt like, whoa, okay, this is the first time I've felt this, and I don't think it's. I wouldn't chalk it up to racism. I would
mhm.
chalk it up to classism.
Classism. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Mhm,
Super classism. And then another thing was because my friend, he didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck. I just noticed those looks.
mhm,
I really just noticed it, and I brushed it off. And then before we exited the hotel, that with the lady incident, we passed by the the bar by the
Mhm.
pool, and all the, there's, people drinking, people hanging out. And these are people, these are guys that wear white pants and white shoes. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, these are that type of people. Okay, white
Mhm.
pants, white shoes. These are not old people. These are young dudes.
Mhm.
And so that's the kind of crowd that was. Ayun, I got another look, pare.
Mhm.
It's just a glance, pero alam mo, it's like, whoa, ano to, pare? It's like minamata ka or something. Because of that hat, I guess they were like, what the fuck is this?
Baka you have to channel your inner Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect.
I get respect. I guess like they were intimidated by the hat. I don't know, man. But it's just,
You remember Caddyshack?
oh, hell yeah.
Di ba si
Oh my
Dangerfield
God.
is like, he's got so much money, but all the white pant people are like looking at him.
Yeah, yeah.
Sabi nga, channel your inner Rodney Dangerfield when you get that.
Yeah. I don't get no respect, man. So anyway, so let's get down to business, man. So
Okay, sure.
so anyway, I was thinking how to, like, because this is definitely going to be a conversation about Club Dredd and that part of that era.
Okay.
But I wanted to make it more interesting. So because we had our own thing in Makati, Kalye and Weekends Live, and you guys were ahead maybe by a few years or maybe a year.
No, it
In
was
in
about the same time. There was Kalye before Dread, actually.
oh, well, yeah, but it wasn't Razorback yet, right?
No, it wasn't. No,
Yeah, it was still Coco Jam, I think.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, because that's the first time I saw Coco Jam was in Kalye.
Glass Tower. Yeah.
In Glass, yeah, in
It was
Salcedo. Yeah.
already called Kalye then.
It was already called Kalye, and it was Coco Jam, and Edmond Fortuna was on the drums.
Uh-huh.
And that's the first time I ever saw Edmond Fortuno,
Mhm.
pare. And like, who the fuck is this guy,
Yeah.
man? Grabe. Oh my God, I've never seen anyone play like that. I've never seen anyone perform like that. I was like, this guy is insane, and I love it.
Mhm.
And then June Lupito, oh fucking hell, putang ina. I'm
Mhm.
like, and then Rico Velez was still he was their bass player. I'm like, oh my God, these guys, who the hell are these guys? I was so naive about who
Mhm.
they were, and they were masters. I was like, I'm watching.
You're not worthy.
Yeah, talaga, we're not worthy, man.
Mhm.
And then I think that's how. And then there's a guy, Ricky Cui. You remember?
Yeah, I remember
You know him, right, Ricky Cui?
yeah, with the harmonica.
With that, yeah.
Mm.
And I think he played keyboards in this. I think he was jamming with them on keyboards or whatever.
Not
But
I.
he
Anyway, yeah. So.
but he was the one who connected Miguel with whoever ran
Mhm.
Kalye, and that's how Razorback got their gig.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So I was thinking, it's like, let's just compare notes, like in a
Okay.
timeline,
Mhm.
So yeah. So instead of me just asking you what's happening, we could just compare and
Mhm.
see, because there was one time, and I'm sure it'll come, where the Dread bands went to Kalye.
Mhm.
Yeah, you were there. You were there with Poppy Fields, right?
No, no. I played drums for Sonic City Zoo. When I left, they
Sonic
changed
City
to yeah,
Zoo.
they changed to Poppy Pig. I don't know if Sonic ever got to play in Kalye. Huh? Jeez, I
You
can't.
did, man. I think you did. It was, I know that Tame the Tikbalang was there. It was, and then Tame the
Baka Poppy Field
Tikbalang,
na yun.
huh?
Baka Poppy Field na yun.
Was I remember GP Evaristo was there. He played. It wasn't Colored Red.
Yeah. Baka Poppy Field na yun.
Okay. Who was the
Oo.
drummer there?
Si Minko.
Ah, Minko, that's right. Okay. But yeah, Sonic City Zoo. I
No,
recognize the name because you probably played there. Did you?
well, we played a lot, and well, yeah, I guess that was fun. Those days were fun though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
the scene kasi was hectic before. You had north and south there. But
Yeah,
then when we met each other, nag-merge na siya. Nagkaroon na ng crossover.
yeah. So
So,
anyway, so the only difference there is that you and Robbie, you guys were the ones who actually started Club Dredd, whereas Kalye was just, you know, Razorback got a gig there. You know, they didn't open their own bar, but you guys did.
that's
So
true. Yeah, I don't even know who owned Kalye or who ran it. I have no idea.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it has been
Kasi like,
several owners already, but you know, since then,
kasi like si Myrix, I know the owners. Si
yeah,
70s, kilala ko yung owners.
yeah.
Pero si Kalye, tama, no? Considering how instrumental it was with the scene.
No, Kali was it was corporate, man.
Mm-hmm.
The people that they dealt with were the staff. Oh my God, we were so close to the staff in Kalye. Oh, they were all good people. The bartenders, the cashiers, the cooks, and the waiters. Man, yeah, it was great. So what was the genesis of your idea to open Club Dread?
Okay, when we were in college, so that was in the 80s. I was in college and I had a gang, and we all liked heavy rock. And there was no place to watch live bands. I mean, we like live bands, we like live music, but
Uh-huh.
there was no place. You go to a bar and then they're playing this jazz, smooth jazz. That was the uso, di ba? Ano yung bars nun? Rhythm and blues, or even the Tia Maria type places. It was always just pop music. So the guys and I we'd do a road trip. We'd go to Olongapo and we'd go to Magsaysay, and there was this bar we used to go to called the Shera Club, and it was an old theater, and they converted into a rock bar. So, you know, with the elevated drum set, then you had these two cage dancers on the side, and they'd be playing AC/DC and Iron Maiden, and it was so much fun. No, we go there. Talagang we'd make maybe once a month if we had money. We
Oh
just
wow.
go to Olongapo, and that was our dream. It was so cool to go there and watch these guys, and it was like watching a concert every time. And
Wow.
so that was embedded already. That the high that you got from watching
Live
that
music.
live music compared to this lame stuff that would be on the radio or
What
on
what year would this be?
80s nga, mid 80s, maybe 86, yeah, ganon. First album ng Guns N' Roses, yun, Paradise City. Yeah, that's the
Oh, okay. So
music video that
88. Yeah.
yeah. So our then we had a band. So my friends and I had a band, and so one of the major expenses was booking a practice studio. So what we do is to save money, we do it in one of our houses. We tried it in Bart's house. We got kicked out because we were too noisy. So we moved to Manny's house. We got kicked out. But among the four of us, we had gear, we had equipment and whatnot. So we had this idea: why don't we put up a rental studio, but with booze? That was the original concept. So you imagine you're going there. What do you call? Because that in the don't know kung naabutan mo yung mga practice studios sa QC. Yeah. Well, for you there pa, parang yeah. Okay, so
Yeah,
practice studios in QC. Outside there's a sari-sari store. So after the practice, we'd hang out and then we'd chat with other musicians and we'd drinking beer. So we said, why don't we make that our model, diba? And then watch the other bands. So we'd be there and then, timing, it's the Dawn playing, practicing. So, silip kami, we get to watch the Dawn while we're drinking beer downstairs. So anong gano'n. But that
nice.
that never really happened kasi, it was just a pipe dream. But what ended up happening was we ended up renting out our equipment. And then one of our first customers was a puesto called Club Electra. This was in Makati Ave, and it was owned by Sampaguita. So that was what they call this. How did I think it was through Papa Dom. We got introduced, and then they needed a sound system, so we provided it. And then it was there I met Coco Jam. That's where I met the seniors, kumbaga. Ayun. And then after that what they call this we after our stint there ended, that was like about a couple of months. We were these UP college kids put up Red Rocks in QC, and so they got us for their sound system. Then it was a very kumbaga, what's the word? It was not professionally run. Okay, there was a bunch of college friends, and it's like whoever felt there that night would be manning the place. But since I was watching out for my equipment, I was there every night. And so I made friends with all the different bands, sina Binky, sina Stephen Lou. And then I started to have this black book of all these phone numbers. And then towards the end, what they call this, I guess, nagsawa na rin sila. Si Robbie and I, Robbie was a regular there, were the ones na practically doing the schedules and calling the bands and whatnot. Then we had it in our head.
Oh my God.
So, we were like doing the bookings and whatnot already.
Dude, that is so... Dude, that's so rock and roll, man. That's so rock and roll, dude.
Really, it was lots of drama, lots of drunken, crazy nights and whatnot. Anyway, so what do you call this? We had this idea. Let's say, hey, since we're running this place practically already, it's pretty easy. Let's just do it ourselves. So we pulled our money together and put up Club Dredd. It wasn't as easy as we thought.
Wow. Wait lang, because the connection's kind of slow, so your vocals are... I don't know what's going on here, man.
It's one of our connections slowed down.
Yeah, it's mine.
Okay. So, I was saying that we thought it would be easy since we were already doing it. So we put together some money and put up a Club Dredd. Easier said than done pala. Once we were running it, it was it was a lot. We bit off more than we could chew. So after about 4.5 years, it was party talaga. As in 2-year party, every night you're drinking, every night. And then, of course, the money ran out and we're not really running it that professionally ourselves. And our waiters were stealing, what do you call this?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, what do you call it? Yeah,
so how long did that first
about 2.5 years.
Oh, 2.5 years.
About 1990 to 92.
Okay. So that would mean 91. Yeah, that's about the same time that sila Razorback started in Kalye, like late 91, I think. Late 91 maybe. And you have when there might be I'm not sure because I recall when Timog was up, there was already Weekends Live. And boy, may Razorback na may Wolfgang na.
That was
Okay.
the triumvirate that ruled that area was Razorback, Wolfgang, Advent Call.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
the breed, those four bands were regulars.
So you were still okay.
I had to drop that one. Okay,
So
so
you
yeah,
so that was still Timog time that time.
yeah, that was Timog time.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because
So
um
possibly that if you're talking about Razorback Kalye, that might have been. Although you were already playing in both venues, Razorback and Wolfgang were playing both in weekends and in Kalye, diba?
yeah, but Razorback they went ahead. They were ahead.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
when they were already established, they were getting a name already in Cali. We started out in this small club on Makati Avenue.
Mhm.
You know, the 7-Eleven in Makati Avenue in Bindia, on the corner, that big 7-Eleven there.
Yeah.
Behind that used to be a bar called Santo Pay. Very
Yeah.
small piano bar,
Mhm.
and that's the first. That's the first venue that Wolfgang ever played in. It was at
Mm.
weekends live. It was Santo Pay,
Okay.
and we would do Friday night. So
Mm.
our audience was just the Razorback guys. That was our audience,
Mm.
and sometimes I would invite some maybe classmates from college,
Mm.
some friends, but mostly it's just a small room and no one was there,
What
and
year
that's
was
where
this?
we. This was 92 because we formed in 92.
Mm.
It's probably late 92
Okay.
and or even early 93. But I know
Yeah,
93.
93 na ata yun.
Yeah,
Kasi,
93. But I remember
Wolfgang
93
for me was,
we were definitely in Weekends Live already in 93.
yeah.
For sure.
Oo,
Yeah.
Wolfgang was Dread Edsa already for in my memory. Eh.
Oh yeah, we never played the Timog
Mm.
one.
Mm.
I mean, I personally didn't even know that it existed.
Uh-huh.
The only
Miguel played in Timog.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's why
I remember
and
that there was one night they just swooped down there, and then they went and asked me if they could jam, and I was like, well, aangas ng mga to. And, I watched them before, and they were, I enjoyed the show, so and I remember we let them play, and after the set of the regular bands, they went and did a couple of songs. And I remember that Miguel he was still fat then, he could barely fit behind the drum
yeah.
riser kasi ang lit lang ng drum riser sa Timo. He
Yeah.
could barely fit there. And of course, it was David and Tirso's guitars were like all the way up to 11, so really
Oh
loud. And
wow. And
that
was
was
it Louis? Was it Louis? Was Louis was there already? Do you remember?
yeah, was the lineup I remember was Kevin,
If it
Tirso,
was Kevin,
Louis.
then it's Louis. Yeah. Because Kevin was there already. Kevin's like, the last to join, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, oh no, he replaced Cuervo, the
Cuervo.
second singer of
I
Reedenbach.
got what Cuervo
Yeah.
in what do you call this in Kalye.
Yeah. He started off in Cali. My gosh,
Mm.
Jose Maria Cuervo was a rock star, man. He
Yeah,
really
yung
played.
dating niya.
Yeah, he really played that role, man. He was so
Mhm.
not shy. It was so
Mhm.
galing, and he had a beard. He was
Mhm.
wearing like rings and
Mhm.
bracelets and all of that. He was glam. It was cool, man.
Mhm.
Um, and then Kevin joined, and he was a different. And Kevin was 17 when he joined Razorback.
Yeah.
He was a child, you
Mhm.
know. um, so anyway, like I said, I didn't even know that Timog existed. I didn't know.
Mhm.
I mean, I was very naive. My I was very naive with the scene and whatnot because
Mhm.
I didn't go out.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
go
galing din.
out.
It's like there was that divide at that time. Eh. You had the South boys and the North boys. So the
Yeah,
QC crowd also would rarely go to
yeah,
Makati and vice versa. So talagang, hey, what are these guys doing in our turf? And they had this
yeah, man.
kasi see, I forgot na yan. Razorback had this huge guy who was Tisoy na, like he's like a 250 pounder guy. One of the fans, regulars nila, I forgot his name. It's Enrique Ben or something. Anyways, yeah. So there you've got Miguel and you've got syempre si Tirso and then all their long hair and then everyone's like freaking out. Look at Tirso's guitar. It's a Flying V na original na Gibson and everything. Panay, what they call this, roon yung mga gitara ng mga, ng mga friends ko. That was pero yun, what that proved at that moment was that, hey, we both like the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're from Makati or
exactly.
They all like the same thing. So yeah, after that, ang dalas na ng crossover. Pero
it's music. Music is the connector there. It's like, and the reason how I discovered that there was Club Dredd at all was when Tikbalang and Poppy Field, they came over to Kalye to, I think Miguel and Tirso, they invited them or something, or they requested to play, or I don't know what the real thing was, but I remember this. Huh?
There was a relationship already. There was a relationship. They were friends.
Oh, okay.
I think the one that did the bridging was Advent Call. Because Sina, Carl, and the Advent Call guys were friends with the Razorback guys, and they were also friends with like Runaway Boys and the QC guys. So that they were the bridge, if I recall.
That's right. No, you're right. You're definitely right there. And so anyway, so I still remember this. We're in Kalye, and after every set we go up, the stairs going up, and then you just hang out in the street and get stoned in smoke weed, and then Miguel goes, and then no, this is before. It's like there are bands from Dredd who are gonna play on Saturday or whatever, in advance. And I go, what's Club Dredd? Oh, then he starts explaining this band, this other club in Quezon City.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, okay. And then I see the Tikbalang. That's the first time I ever see the Tikbalang play. I'm like, holy shit, these guys are intense. And then Poppy Field they were good too. Who's the singer of Poppy Field?
Jet Melenko.
Yeah, I can still picture him and GP in my mind playing in Kalye. I can I remember it. Because I'm related to GP. I'm related to GP.
See, Jet, what was he? He had a 4-octave range. I think he could really hit the high notes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he was hitting some high notes because they were playing Jane's Addiction, I think. Yeah, and Minko was playing drums. That's right. Okay, I get it now. So, so Wolfgang. That's when we start Weekends Live in '93, and shit, those were wild days, man. Because our audience there at first were the IS people. Because it was right next to IS, So that was their gimmick every Friday night. They would out there and man, we had three sets, and every time we would play, there were these just a bunch of foreigner chicks dancing in front of us, like dancing their heart out, man. And it was so nice because you're like, wow, we're playing in front of these cute chicks. And then we later on found out that that they were, I guess, high on the white stuff. They were very, very active, man. So it's like, oh shit, no wonder, man. No wonder they're dancing sexy to warpings because they're some of dude, I can still picture this blonde girl in front, man. She was like giving it everything, dude. I'm like, holy shit, this girl, pare. Kaya pala sabog, man. But, but
Yeah, no longer po that's what we see, but they were professional
they're professional. Oh my god.
cage
Um,
dancers. But that proved talaga that sexy dancing and heavy metal are go together.
oh yeah,
They're not.
yeah. Because it's the groove. It's also the groove. You know. It's like why are they dancing to Warpix? Well, Warpix has a good groove. You know. It's about water, but the groove is danceable. Um, uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, no, what's funny is when it breaks down that ba bam ba da dum ba da ba da dun dun, they're still dancing the sexy dancing like crazy. Oh man. So anyway, but eventually, when people got wind of us, because we were there for every Friday for 3 years, man. That's 3 years every Friday, and my gosh, we really cut our teeth there. We grew an audience there. My gosh, it was at the point where you know what it looks like inside, right? The piazza.
Mhm.
So there was a time when it was so full of people, just full of people, and everyone was smoking cigarettes. And the lights, they had concert lights in there because there's no lights. It was just a restaurant. So
Yeah.
the lights, limited just red and blue. you know, so it would look like hell. You go in, it's red lights with everyone on the rack wall. All the walls were people, and everyone smoking, and then just loud music, and it would be either Wolfgang Advent Call, or there's this other band called Pedro's Cannabis. Oh my god,
Yeah.
they were a trip too, man. You remember them, Pedro's Cannabis? They would play Alice in Chains.
Yeah, they play in Dread a lot.
Oh,
They
okay.
played in. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the singer. We were schoolmates with the vocalist and I in LaSalle. But anyway, yeah. So w- when did you transfer? What year was that?
Okay, well,
95?
first one is late 92. I was looking at the books and I could see that we weren't going to be able to make the rent anymore. So I said, Rob, rather than get padlocked, like, because the Red Rocks was the previous tenant and they got padlocked. As in, one day they showed up and the landlord had locked everything, all the
Oh
stuff
my
inside.
god.
I said, before we get padlocked, let's already plan our exit. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we announced it, and we had a really wild last night. I think it was a wet February. Yon. And threw in the towel. As in, we locked up, and then I think I went into a depression after that because failure is always depressing, diba? So
Yeah.
then my sister. My younger sister was in college at the time, and she was like, the concept of the place. She'd go there often, and she saw that there was really a potential in the business, but it's just that it was so badly run. It was so haphazardly, operated that it was bleeding money. And so her concept was, if you run it professionally with the same concept, it should be able to sustain itself. And so she actually did it as her thesis for school. She made a business plan for a Club Dredd.
Wow.
You can actually find that in UP Engineering. There's a thesis there on Club Dredd as the Club Dredd. She did a market study. She did the financial and everything.
Wow. And you used it? You used her thesis?
Basically,
Yeah.
I brought the thesis over to my folks and I said, "See, this is a viable business." And so my dad invested again. And what he called this, it was not my savings, as it was my dad invested. And so we were able to we got what they call this time si Robbie unfortunately had to back out, but I got Apa and then Apa on pin and Rock Drillon put in some money also, and so we
Okay.
and then yun at that time si Jean Santiago was the one running Weekends Live.
Okay.
She left. I got
Oh
her
yeah,
for,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
here's someone who knows how to run. That's her profession talaga. Unlike
Yeah.
me, I'm Mr. Party Boy. Here, this woman. That's her job, and so
Yeah.
she hired her staff. She hired her cook. She did the what they call it, yung where they measure talaga the recipes. Unlike when Robbie would cook bara bara. It's
So it's not
like,
consistent.
see, Robbie nga, nakakatawa, you have the bottle of booze, okay? So you have Jack Daniels there. You're supposed to put a certain percentage for wastage or spillage. See,
Okay.
Robbie would drink that.
Oh my god.
Because it's spillage. So wala nang allowance. Ganun. Anyway, so that was the ano, I mean, Robbie would be there was one night Robbie was really wasted, so I was the one cooking, I mean, ganun. So this one they did the menu, they did the recipes and everything, and we had we had a systematic inventory and whatnot. So ayun, we it was it was run then we actually have financial records. We actually filed did everything by the book and above board. And so with Gene running that, I was free to do the music stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how it came
That's
out.
so cool, man. So how did you choose the location, the one on EDSA?
Okay, so the concept was we wanted some place that was accessible, and so when we saw the venue of EDSA, the what you call this, that we figured it's EDSA Tapat. It was a very good, very easy for people to find and see. So
And
that's
it's a bus stop right there.
yeah. Mhm. The problem lang was there's no parking, but that was not we didn't consider that at the time. That was one of the downsides of the place because
Yeah.
in Timog, at least you could park in the side streets. There was a lot of side streets you could park in, but on EDSA, there's no place to park now. Very difficult.
Right.
People would
Yeah,
park
we have
all the
to
time in Pituazon
in
and whatnot.
Pituazon, yeah. Pituazon, yeah.
Or there was the building beside it, which was owned by the same people. And you give but that garage would get filled up very quickly.
Oh, that's
Especially
right. There was a garage. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, did it look like that before you rented it out? Was it like that? Was this a separate room already and the bar was there?
No. We set that up. I had a friend who was in architecture, and so he did the floor plan.
Wow.
And super budget.
So what did it look like before? Just the one big space?
Remember.
It was a restaurant, right? It was a restaurant, diba?
It was a bar also. Actually,
Oh.
it was a bar, but it wasn't doing too well. So they, when their lease ended, started getting what you call advertising it. So I remember when I visited it the first time, it was still in operation. So it was
Okay.
So,
And there was no divider yet.
yeah, wala. We built that divider that divided the parang lobby and the.
Dude, that was so genius. That was genius, man. Such a genius. The first time we went to that.
Yes, it was experience. Kasi I realized that 75% of the time in Dredd is spent talking with people. And you can't do that when the band's playing.
Exactly.
So in Timog, we had upstairs and we had downstairs. Downstairs was a street already. It was already Scout Tobias. So you go downstairs and the bar is there facing the street. So ano yan, so people would be hanging out on the sidewalk and whatnot, and
Right.
that was so half the gimmick was actually just hanging out there. In fact, you didn't even have to go watch the bands. You go there because chances are you'd see someone you knew and you'd hang
Right.
out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I
So
mean,
I said,
that's how a
and
scene is. Yeah.
and one of the things was that people would go to the next door. The next door, Ihawan made money from us. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they what they call this, because the overflow would go there, and also stupid management. Our beer was more expensive than theirs, which was dumb.
Right.
People would
Yeah.
go there, buy three beers, and then go to our place and buy one beer. So they get to sell three times as many beers as we
Oh
do.
man, that's right.
Yeah. So if I had been now that I'm thinking about it, I should have at least competed with them on the price. But anyway, again, I Dito, I figured that would be, as an audience, that would be what they'd like. They'd want us to hang out, and so that became the thing. I mean, people would go there not necessarily to watch the band. You can pay and watch the band, but you can also hang out in the bar and just have drinks and chat with your friends.
Right. Yeah. It was great, man, because
Yeah, it was fun. It was you'd have music deals that were made there. I remember, the
oh
record
yeah.
companies would actually hang out there in the lobby area, and well, I knew that because they would actually spend. They had a budget to spend on, and then they'd sign. That's where they do the sign up for their artists. And then I found out years later it was also a gay hookup place.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, since the what they call this, the culture was so open, diba? Everyone was cool. No one really cared about anyone, how people looked or how people dressed. So a lot of the ad agency people would hang out there, and then it
Oh,
became,
okay.
among my ad agency friends, they said that was the gays who go there. That's where they hook up because
Well, there
you
you
know
go, man.
totally anonymous. Unlike, let's say, you go to one of those discos or whatnot, where you'll people will notice and see you. Dito, you're anonymous. You're one of the
Yeah,
weirdos.
really anonymous. I mean, yeah, because people really didn't care, especially
Yeah.
if you weren't. I mean, if you were discreet, no one would care,
Mm.
unless you
Mhm.
were really
Walang
openly gay. Then
rockstar.
okay, okay. Yeah,
Walang
well,
rockstar.
yeah, yeah, man.
So
Wala talaga.
that was a little talaga when I found that out. So really, I didn't know that. I was wondering why you were always there. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't. It's like that separate lounge. It's just a
Mm.
lounge. You can hang.
Mm.
You can actually hang out there and say, "Let's go to
Mm.
Club Dredd, hang out in the lounge. We don't have to watch the bands,
Mm.
or whatever." And for the bands who are playing, especially like eventually, like Wolfgang would be like on a really late set, man. And
Mm.
it's not your fault because it was other productions who would use Club Dread as the venue, and they would stick us as the
I'd
last.
always want to put you, yeah, I'd always want to put you guys last because you guys would have the crowd. If you put you guys first after your
Yeah,
gig, everyone would leave.
yeah. But then the problem, what they would do is that they would put 30 bands on their
Yeah,
roster. I'm like, what the
exactly.
fuck?
Everyone met it. Yeah, there was the peak in the, if I had a time machine and then one of your friends goes and say, "Hey, Wolf, let's go with Pat in a time machine. What do you call this? What was Club Dread like in the 90s?" I'd bring it to 1995. Any day. I'm telling you, any day we go there, Monday to Saturday, you'll have an awesome performance. It
Oh
will be
yeah,
jazz, it could be heavy metal, it could be whatever kind of music that night. But the quality was always top level. But yun nga, it got to that point that there were more musicians than there were audience.
audience.
That
Yeah.
was the funny thing talaga. It's like everyone and their brother wanted to play in a band. And so I remember that we'd have, what was that? We'd have auditions were in the afternoons. So like late afternoon, I come over
Yeah.
and I'd watch 2 or 3 bands to audition. That would be. It got so many bands would be auditioning. It got to the point I said, hey, let's just make Monday audition night. So Monday would be audition night. The whole night was all auditions. So bands would come over and they'd audition, and so at least it's understood. If they're crappy, it's an audition night then. And
Yeah.
Monday was kind of slow, but it just kept getting more and more and more and more, and then everyone and their sister wanted to play, and everyone was trying to get in. So it got started with my friend Bart. My friend Bart came up with this idea called what he always said, why don't I get all the reject bands, all the bands that Patrick doesn't want, and then I'll have a gig where they'll all come in, di ba?
Oh, okay.
So he called it RP's Least Wanted. And then the idea is let them sell the tickets.
Yeah.
So that was the pay, that was the start of the
Pay to
dread
play.
pay to play. I know a lot of musicians still curse that up to this 20 years later, but
Wow.
that's what happened. So you want to play Club Dredd, you pay to play. Parang ganon.
Oh my God.
Now kami as a business, di ba? See, my friend would guarantee that night. I'd have a bar guarantee. So whether anyone showed up or it was just all the music bands themselves, which was often the case nga,
Right.
we at least would hit our bar guarantee. So we break even or make money for that night.
Yeah.
And the business model actually worked. So other people started making, yeah. And ayun. And then at about that time, I think the Asian crisis hit. And so sales went down. And ayun, that was practically became the only way to survive. So you'd have maybe once a
Wow,
month
shit.
you'd have to get Wolfgang or an Eraserheads to play. So at least
Yeah.
you'd have a night. But the rest of the month would be Langaw. I mean, I
Oh
imagine
my
I'd
God.
have Chris Nono with her string section, and then there's 4 people in the audience. It was
Oh,
really
man.
sad. That
Oh,
was so
wow.
sad. So on the other hand, you have, let's say, Kablunk productions with 30 stupid, awful bands, but at least diba, the cash register was moving and we were
Yeah,
paying
yeah.
electricity. Pero yun, my friends would go there and then they see, what the hell is this? This is crap. And, parang turned off na sila. They'll only go if they see, let's say, oh, it's Razorback or it's, what they go, Putriska playing that night. So that's when the quality started to dip around that.
Yeah.
Then I had to help my dad with the family business around 96. And then, I tried it for a while, doing the day job with the necktie and everything, and then going to Dredd at night. I couldn't, after a while, what they call this, I'd only go na lang on weekends. So, even then, at that point, my friends who would be regulars would go, hey, I was there last Wednesday. The band was crappy and you weren't there, so I left. It's like, sayang.
Oh my God.
So that started to, then.
Yeah, it was kind of discouraging also because like you were saying that 1995, that's when all those, because that's when the Dread Sked was there, 1995 yun. And then I see all these old pictures of the Dread Sked and it's like, man, this is like powerhouse every day.
Diba?
Yeah.
Diba, you have Parokya ni Edgar, Eraserheads, and then the youth in one night. I mean,
yeah, in one night, I mean, at that point, they were still rising. I mean, E-Heads was already there, but Parokya was still rising. They would still go on to be bigger than that, but it's there. It's like when you see like I remember documentaries of either the Ramones or CBGB, and you see the flyers, Talking Heads, Blondie, was that Richard Hell and the Voidots, and you're like, holy shit! But then the guy who's being interviewed goes, all those bands sucked. They became good because of playing in CBGB all the time. But when they
That's
started,
true.
they were all amateurs, and they got good eventually.
I don't know though what happened because that for me, what I wish if I had like a magic wish, I wish half the bands decided instead of playing, they would just watch and support the scene.
Yeah.
Pay entrance fee, buy beers. That would have been really great.
Yes.
I can
Yeah.
imagine, going to, let's say, watch Sugar Hiccup. Okay, I love Sugar Hiccup. I go there to watch them, but I gotta watch like 6 crappy bands first before I get to watch them. Because that particular night, there's 8 bands playing. So that one was annoying. That actually turned off a lot of my friends. They'd come over,
Yeah.
okay, oh cool, Razorback's playing, but it's a production and there's 30 bands, and it's like I don't want to watch those 30 bands.
Yeah.
So that was sad because if no, maybe not Razorback, but because with Razorback or Wolfgang, I'd only need like 4 bands, 3 bands even at most. But yeah, yung ganon. And then uso pa nun yung 2 sets, di ba? Where the band would play 2 sets. That was I mean, so you come over, you get to watch 2 sets of your favorite band. And
Yeah.
then,
because the people who were running it were real music enthusiasts. Especially live music. It's like you. Oh, go ahead. You need that?
no, it's okay.
Okay. It's like it's like because it's like you're enjoying what you were doing. It's like, oh, let's make this lineup. It's like making a lineup for a music festival or something like that. It's
I'm not sure what it was like in CBGBs because, like I said, sorry about that. Work and
no problem, bro. No
so
problem.
anyway, saying nga na it's sad because we had those nights nga na very few people lang, and then so you're rainy Wednesday night, you're paying rent, you're paying kuryente, you're paying salaries, you're paying for maintenance of the place. You have to buy cymbals because the drummer of Wolfgang broke the cymbals. Or the amp, diba? You have to buy a new
Oh
rewired
yeah,
speaker.
yeah. Hey man, I brought my own cymbal, so I'm not guilty of
I
that.
know. I'm just
I know.
teasing you, man.
No, kidding. But the guitar, dude. I'm telling you, man. I
And
felt.
Sinamiel would always bring their own amps. So I'm just
Oh yeah. But those
Mm.
amps, like the house amps,
Mm.
that would be the house amps, and then 30 bands, dude. And like kawawang amp, man. Oh my god! And these guys don't know how to run the amp, dude. It's like, oh my god.
Although putting them on the chairs was really good idea kasi that really saved them kasi yung usual case where they're on the floor,
It's on the floor. Yeah, you won't hear it,
you
man.
can't hear it, so they crank
Yeah.
it up. And when it's pointed at them, then at least they have, and then it's not pointed directly at the audience. Mas madaling i-mix.
Yeah.
That really. The worst talaga was when Manny Amador would play. Jeez, wow, that was so hard to mix talaga.
Oh, he brought this Marshall half stack. Oh my gosh.
Diba? It's like, wow.
Oh
Anyway,
my God.
those were fun. Those were fun pa rin. It's a fun problem. Kasi kahit pa paano, there'll be people watching and everyone having a good time, and your earwax would come off, but at least diba, you're expecting that. But, sabi ko na, I'm not sure about how how things were in CBGBs, but yun talaga, we struggled to keep the lights on talaga. So
Wow.
that's why I decided eventually to pull the plug in. Year was that 97? I think 98.
98.
So yeah, uh-uh.
So anyway,
And-
go. Finish.
Yeah,
your
it was good thing at the time kasi a few months later, that's when they did the MRT, and so
Oh, that's right.
that entire section was under construction. So I can imagine if we were running our business at that time,
Man, no one
Yeah.
would be able to go there, man.
and then the brownout. That was also the
Oh,
brownout.
that's right. The blackouts.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like most venues would have to invest in a generator. So When I think about it, it was good timing that we had closed already.
And yeah, really. So anyway, I mean, I want to talk about just two things about my really memorable Club Dread experiences,
Okay,
and
cool.
we can compare notes because it's really
Yeah.
interesting. So the first one is, and I did an episode on my podcast of this particular story. This was the day that Jason used to jam, the Jason used to
Mhm.
jam in Dread, no?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that happened in the evening, right? At night.
Mm-hmm.
But my day started in the morning. That was Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We started early because we filmed a music video for Weightless. We have a song called Weightless. That was our
Okay.
first song, a single in of
Mm.
Semenlin, our second album.
And then,
And Semenlin just is 25 years old this year, right
yeah,
now.
I know.
Anyway, so we filmed the music video, and then Carlos Santana was in town because Santana was going to play 2 days later in Araneta Coliseum.
Okay.
So he had a he had a press conference in Manila Hotel, and 99.5 RT was the radio sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
And Tirso's girlfriend at the time, her family was the
Ika.
one who ran it. Yeah, si Kat.
Ika.
Cats.
Mm.
Cats.
Cats. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they had access, they had access to the press con, and Tirso knew how much of a fan I was. Because I mean, I have a tattoo in my back of the Abrahas angel. That's how, and I got that tattoo because Tirso said, dude, when Carlos comes and there's a press con, I'm gonna bring you in, okay? So with that in mind, I go, well, shit. I remember during that time, everyone was starting to get tattoos. That was like the first wave of tattoo people getting like major tattoos.
Mm.
So everybody had tattoos. Tirso got a tattoo. Miguel got a tattoo. Basti got a tattoo. I got a tattoo. Everyone was getting tattoos. And I got my tattoo knowing that I was going to see Carlos Santana. I was going to meet him. Tirso's like, I'm going to let him meet you. I'm going to make you meet him or whatever. So it's a full back tattoo. Took 2 hours to make. Painful as fuck. But it's like I'm on a mission. So anyway, after the video shoot, I speed down to Manila Hotel from Sony Music, which is in Pasig. And during that time, there's no traffic on Sundays.
Sunday,
So just from Shaw Boulevard to Manila Hotel, 30 minutes, I guess. And I ran down and then do the whole press con, meet Carlos Santana, and then Lee Loriano is there because she's in press, and she goes, "Hey Wolf, guess what?" I go, "What?" Jason Newsted is in town. It's like, "Yeah, I know."
Oh,
No, that's not it. Huh?
that
What?
same day.
That same day, that's Sunday. Lee was there, and then she goes, and then she goes, "Jason Newsted is in town." I go, "Yeah, I know, I heard." And then she goes, "No, this is cool, man. He wants to jam, and Patrick is going to open Club Dredd so that they can jam. You guys want to jam, Wolfgang?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, we want to jam." And he goes, "Okay. So I'll put you down, okay?" And I go, then I go, "Yeah, we'll see you tonight." Okay, we'll see you later. So from Manila Hotel, I speed back to Shaw Boulevard to tell Manuel and Basti, and then that night, and then we go to Club Dredd, and then we do the jam. My God, it was I'll never forget that day. And it was so special because Club Dredd was closed. You opened it, and this was no cell phones yet. Nothing.
Purely
No
word of mouth. Yeah.
word of mouth. There was I mean, it's like I hope that the if ever who was there, I mean, I hope they remember that because it was one of a kind. And then Electric Sky Church played before us, and then Kabring was there too. He sang. It was great, man. And then so that's one. How did that happen, dude?
Okay, so I think what was the label of Metallica at the time? Was it Octo or Dyna?
I'm
Anyway,
not
basta
sure,
their
man.
label si Dodong was, yeah, I think it was the Dyna group kasi si Dodong was involved, Dodong Viray. So Dodong called me and said nga that Jason used, it was a Sunday. And this was, Sunday for me is like I wake up at noon and then my afternoon I spend lounging around because there's no work, and he wanted to play in the jam in Club Dredd. And I said, yeah, sure. Have him come by, on Monday or something. No, tonight. Yeah, but we're closed. Sunday, we're closed, that find someplace else. And no, but he's leaving. He's just going to be here for one day. And I said, we're closed on Sunday. So talagang, isip ko talaga, it's like, and then, who am I gonna call up? What am I gonna do? And then, anyway, si Dong convinced me, and then I was like, oh, sige, man, you got Metallica guy here, might as well, diba? So, I was able to call Gene. Of course, I had Gene's number, and then I had Theo, who was our head of the staff, wait staff. So we had and then, was it Ed or si Murak? Basta the engineer. And then so the four of us, we were the staff. We were the skeleton crew. No kitchen. We were just going to sell beer.
Yeah, no kitchen, I remember, yeah.
And then that was it. So we came over, we set up the place. And then I said, who's he going to jam with? So again, black book. I go to my black book and then go through who do I know, who can I call? And so, syempre, there was a handful. Like, syempre, the thing about Sky Church, magkapatid yung tatlo. So one number, once the brothers punta sila, di ba? And, so whoever I could call, if I could call anyone, phone brigade yun. And then, that person would call, someone else would call.
Wow.
So, what do you call this? I'm not sure how I contacted, if Wolfgang was through Lee or if, did they know about it now when you asked them, ba? When you told them?
Because Lee said...
no, Lee had told them, or did I call someone?
Lee called who?
No,
I don't know. I don't know who she was connected to. She just said that...
You said that she called you.
No, she was there at the press conference.
At the press con, okay.
She saw me there. I guess she saw me there and she probably light bulb in her head. It's like, oh, Wolfgang can play, or something like that, Because she asked me, it's like, do you guys want to play? I was like, fuck yeah.
Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon.
No, this is Sunday afternoon, pare.
Yeah, must have been afternoon.
Yeah.
I can't recall who I called in Wolfgang also. Or basta we were able to confirm what they call this, either Razorback or Wolfgang, or basta a combination of those.
What I think happened is that...
At the time I was managing Datus, so I asked the Datus guys.
That's right. Yeah. So what I think happened was, since Lee told me in person, she probably just called you to say that Wolfgang is in or something. They want to. Yeah. Man, that was. Woo. Did you meet Jason? Like, of course you met him. Yeah, man. I treasured those pictures, man. Woo, that's proof. So anyway, the second memory, best memory of Dredd would be the last show, man. Oh. That last show in Club Dredd. That was like, like you said, like earlier, a time machine. If you brought some kid now and you brought him to that particular gig, man, that he wouldn't that person would not, he or she would not forget that for the rest of their life. I can't forget it. I still remember it because it was so full of people and it was so smoky. And I think we played only 3 songs.
Yeah, kasi daming band.
Daming banda. Yeah, it was the whole night. But the place was so full, like sardines, man. Sardines. It was so hot. I mean, the roadies had to like part the sea of people on stage. And,
I think it was a Not Radio. It was an NU Not Radio night on Independence. So
And
that's
depend,
we said
yeah.
let's end with a bang.
Yeah, and it was aired on NU2, I think.
Mm.
And then I remember it was just so hot. I'm like, and I'm usually good in crowds, but I was like, holy shit, man, what the fuck is this? I mean, I've never seen Club Dredd this packed.
Mm. Mhm.
And so we play, and it's just so hot. It was just so
Mhm.
hot. I couldn't breathe. And
Mhm.
by the middle of the third song, or before the third song was intro, Basti couldn't help it, and he just barfed on stage, as in Exorcist,
Mhm.
blah, on the stage. And of course, everyone's so pumped. They were cheering. They're like, "Yeah, rock and roll, man, rock and roll!" And then I was
Oh,
like,
I don't
Basti,
remember this.
no, I mean, no. If you were in the back, you couldn't see. I mean, he had
Mm.
to, bend down and puke on the stage or in front of the stage, but he puked,
Mm.
man. I go, Basti, are you okay? It's like, just finish this. Let's just finish it and get out of here. So we do our last song, and then I think you guys even opened the side door already, not the front,
Yeah, siguro
not
baka
the
hindi
lounge
pa.
door, but the
The
emergency
red
exit was
door.
open. Yeah,
Mm.
because it was so hot. So, and then going back out, we had to go through the sea of people, and I was getting claustrophobic already. I
Mm.
was starting to panic because it was so hot I couldn't breathe. So, and then, I was shoving people, I was shouting. Yeah, I was starting to panic, dude. But when we got out, to EDSA, with the fresh air of EDSA,
Yeah, the fresh EDSA air. Yes.
the fresh EDSA air where all the buses pass, man.
Mm.
And we were like, holy shit, and of course, hindsight is just 2020, and it was exciting, man. It was just the best. It was rock
Can
and
you
roll.
imagine doing that now in
Oh,
the
hell
COVID era?
no.
Diba?
Hell no.
Imagine you're crowded in the place. Those nights the floor would be wet because of sweat. You know,
Wow.
can you imagine? Siguro for a young person, they say, "Oh, that's gross." I mean,
Oh
but we're
yeah, a young person now. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's yeah,
sardinas that you really wipe. You're rubbing against other people and ano talaga
yeah. I
sharing
mean, that
sweat.
was. It's like that would be. It's like if COVID was still there. It's like ooh, buffet.
Exactly, and I'm sure that the colds would be spread around
Oh
those
yeah, I'm sure there was a
all
lot
the
of
time.
a lot of
Yeah.
viruses spread that night.
Mga pink eye or what do you call this mononucleosis. Wala, we
Yeah.
didn't
Oh
care.
my God, mono. Oh my God, dude. Yeah,
Diba?
but
And
I
the
mean,
cigarettes, that's the other one is the cigarettes. Grabe. So we reopened Dread. We opened Dread in Eastwood in like 10 years later, and
that's
that
right.
was one
Yeah.
I couldn't stand was the smoke. It's
My
like
God.
for 8 years I had that every night. I'd be in a bar with hundreds of people smoking, and then all of a sudden it's like my eyes couldn't take it. I just wasn't used to it
Oh
anymore.
yeah, that's right. My
And I
gosh.
remember bringing my sons over to watch a band in Route 196 a few years ago, and they couldn't stand it because there was still a smoking area. Ayaw nila, they asked to go out. They couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at least now, well, pre-COVID, bawal na talaga. There's no smoking area at all in the entire
Indoors.
bars. Yeah, indoors. But
Yeah.
yun, at that time, I remember that they were they couldn't stand it. They couldn't stand the smoke. And you're talking about half the place was smoking, not like Club Dredd era. I cannot
Yeah, and
imagine.
Route 196 is not a big place. It's just a sala.
Yeah.
you know?
So I can
So
imagine if we traveled back in time, siguro we need to bring gas masks or something.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
PPE.
PPE, yeah. Exactly. But I mean the vibe. It was the vibe, man. I mean
Mm,
after my panic, the panic, the
mm,
feeling of panic was
mm,
subsided. It's like, gosh, that was intense, man.
mm,
I can see it. I can see Basti puking. I
mm,
can still feel how I felt. You're like on the verge of like fuck, man. Let's get out of here, man. Let's fuck.
mm,
It's like panic. On the verge of panic. But you just play the songs, and then every song that we played is just like and the whole crowd is just like breathing, just moving. Wow, wow. It's like pure Filipino rock and roll energy. It's like it.
Mhm.
I always when people hear they what you call this, not memorial, when they all these legendary rock and roll stories here in the States or in England or whatever, it's like sensationalized, and it was so great, you know. It's like when I think, it's like we had our own thing too, man. We had Club Dredd, we had those wild nights in Merrick's, we had wild nights in weekends and in Kalye. We had our thing, man. We were rocking. We
Yeah,
were
and I
rocking.
remember those days they'd slam dance by, diba? There'd be slam dancers.
Oh, slam dancing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
There would be the era of peace lang tayo pare, peace lang.
yeah, this is them. And you,
Peace lang
you
tayo.
basically you shove each other, pero it's peace. We're not fighting. It's just, and there was a culture for that slam dancing also, diba? And we had to educate the people. As
Yeah.
in, I could tell that so and so, these people are not, these aren't regulars. They won't understand this. So I'd warn them
Yeah.
already. Pare, tabi kayo dito kasi matamaan kayo, walang pikunan, and ganun. I'd have to teach them. So there was a culture already, and then till everyone understood, okay, when these guys start doing this, diba, either you join in or you get out of the way.
Yeah, pero walang pikunan. Yeah.
Walang pikunan dapat. Yun
Yeah.
yung. So, hindi na yung away. That was the thing. We rarely had fights. I mean, considering you have hundreds of people packed there getting drunk, but there were rare, the fights were very rare in Dredd. I mean, you wouldn't have like the punk versus the reggae fight
Yeah.
or something. Walang ganun eh. I mean, everyone was like cool with everyone else.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. It was really cool. The vibe in Dread was really cool. By
Diba? It's
that,
like, you remember Blues Brothers? Diba?
Uh-huh.
They go into this cowboy bar, diba?
Yeah.
And then they're playing black music in a cowboy bar. So I
yeah,
mean, walang ganon eh. In Dread, they show up there, the cowboys would like them pa rin. And there wouldn't be any, kumbaga, kung babasagin nila yung bote, they do it for all the bands. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what music
yeah,
they're playing.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it was,
So-
and then I think during that time, I think, that would be when we started playing there. That would be already 95, 96.
Mhm.
We were already not playing in weekends and in Kalye because we had to stop playing those weekends to play out of town because we were starting to get out of town gigs. So we
You were
had to.
doing that's where the nice money was coming in.
Yeah.
So I was lucky I'd get, I talked to Patrick or to, who's the manager of, was Patrick
Bombi.
also the manager of Wolfgang?
No,
Yes,
Bom-
Bombi. Oh.
Patrick was our manager. And then, during the weekends live days, Patrick was Wolfgang's manager, and then Bombi was with Razorback. So yeah,
Yeah,
It-
we
so it-
I'd be
and,
lucky to get you guys once a month. Then that 1 month, I knew that at least that night we'd have a good crowd coming.
yeah. I remember that. I remember that feeling, and I remember that once a month Club Dredd. But I would always look forward to it. It's like, yeah, Club Dredd, man. Okay yan. Okay yung crowd dyan. Okay yung crowd sa QC and in the North.
Then you get to test the new songs, diba? Or you try
Yeah.
something different. Because you're not under any pressure to play the
Yeah,
hits.
there's no pressure. Unless it was an NU event and you put out your greatest hits or whatever. Diba? But yeah, then we also there was an Independence Day sessions, the acoustic one. Was that thing? Right? There was another NU Independence Day session thing that
I think that
happened
was
there.
I don't think we had it in Dread.
Oh, okay.
I think we had hindi pa uso yung acoustic then.
That's right.
Yeah, so the only acoustic night we had was one night with Datus nag-brown out. And they continued the set with the acoustic.
Galing. Wow, galing.
So luckily, I had my acoustic guitar there, so si Kabring and Del just continued playing. So the audience was enjoyed that. They stayed.
Okay,
But at the
so
same time, we did acoustic. I don't think our miking system would have been sophisticated enough to handle an acoustic set.
yeah. So before we go, I just wanted to ask you, what would be in your whole adventure with Club Dredd? What would be the most memorable thing for you? Oh,
I'm sorry again. What were you saying? What would be the most?
no problem.
Hmm.
What would be your most memorable moment? I mean, something that you always will be like, wow, or not even wow, but it's easy for you to bring up and really memorable for you in your Club Dread career.
One of the ones that I can remember is so Pepe Smith just got out of the jail. So Apa got him bailed out. And so he was broke and they were looking for money and the Exena decided to adopt him and what do you call it? Sina Poch were managing him and so they had what do you call this trying to remember which way around it was. Basta ano siya, and then Mike Hanopol had a gig in Dredd.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Hanopol was being managed by my cousin Butch at the time. So what you call third line. So they had Mike Hanopol had a show that night. And so Sina Poch and Sina Piaps went to watch.
In Timog.
In EDSA to. EDSA.
Oh, EDSA. Okay.
So, he had a good sized crowd because of Mike Hanopol. But when everyone saw Pepe Smith there, syempre, they were already egging him on. You go on stage.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Before any reunion or whatnot or anything. And so nagoyo siya. He went up on stage. And so they did, I think, Balong Malalim and Beep Beep. And it was so obvious they hadn't played or performed with each other in years. Talagang,
wow.
This is the first year that they played. I wish I had a camera. I wish I had right now you have your cell phone that you
right,
have.
Yeah.
Kasi, that was magic. You could feel the electricity in the air. Everyone knew, this is something different. Kasi, but these guys hadn't played together in years. And then here they were on stage. And they were singing their stuff. And then, sure enough, a few months later, they had their reunion gig.
They had their reunion, yeah. That was the spark. Oh, wow.
But that was fun. That was, I really remember that night was really cool. Then I guess the last night of Timog was also pretty crazy. So the weird thing about Timog was we were losing money. So we were spending more than we were earning. So although the place was packed, on weekends, on weekdays it would be empty, and so we couldn't earn enough on weekends to support the weekdays and whatnot. But when word spread that we were closing down, all of a sudden every night was full. So the January, February, every night puno siya, and I was like, we should tell people that we're closing down all the time so people will keep coming kasi people are going like they're going to close down na. So anyways, and then that peaked until the last night. The last night was really what they call this, we had I think the last band to play there was Feet Like Fins, and it was like really crazy already kasi aside from slam dancing and whatnot, they had piled all the chairs together in the middle of the, they were throwing the chairs and piling. It was a really, kulang na lang burn the place down before we left. It's like,
oh my God.
And people were carting away stuff, mga posters, they were, talaga. That was I had a camera that night. So we had a digital camera, and so we have footage of that.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that the footage on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
remember like Ron and the members of the band were standing all by the tiny drum riser because the people were so wild already. They were crashing into the. Yeah, that was one. And then when people would be slam dancing, if you're in the ihawan downstairs, the whole ceiling would be
Oh
shaking.
my
Then you have this
god,
dust falling down, and
dust.
the owner of the place would complain to me. It's like, what can I do if they're all dancing at the same time? And it's like the
Yeah.
whole group's going like this.
Wow.
Yeah. So
It's
that was a real. Oh, and then the other one would be the opening of EDSA. So EDSA closed. EDSA was about to open, and that we were going to have we had a dry run, so friends lang. We invited friends. Construction was still ongoing. We had Color Dredd, Tropical
yeah.
Play, and all that. But we're gonna have our grand opening. So that one again, word of mouth. Walang cellphone pa nung, walang social media. That was just what they call this phone brigade and whatnot that people
Yeah.
found out or knew that it was opening. And so, ayan, everyone wanted to play. And I decided, kami ni Robbie, we decided we will not have sikat bands. Kasi I could have had Eraserheads at the time. I could have had the Youth. I could have had the Dawn After Image. I mean, they were already, they would have been willing to play, I'm sure. But I said,
Uh-huh.
let's have my favorite bands, but the unknowns. And so we had we had those, Celts Cross was there, Like Fins, it was Ascals. I'm not sure if Pedro's was one of the five bands. Basta limang banda yon. And and I said,
Oh.
are you sure opening night you're going to have these unknowns playing? And I said, yeah, I'm sure. And grabe that night, the entire street of Pituason, that road going into Cubao was so full of people. The traffic
Wow.
was blocked up and whatnot, and you had I think Channel V was there with their cameras. But it was a big media event, and the
Wow.
Isina Jean were like, "Oh my God, what happened here? What did we do?" Diba? And then those bands who haven't played in months since Dread closed, all of a sudden got to play in their and then this huge crowd and so it was a lot of fun. And I remember the cops came in, and then they were like, they were going to raid the place now because what's going on here? What's going on here? There's like a riot or something. And then the
Yeah.
Channel V guys were there with their cameras. It was pretty wild. That was a really that was a hell of a night. Kasi parang just by word of mouth, you had. I think, if I recall the number, there were like 600 people sa entrance. So talagang we were beyond capacity.
My
So
gosh.
that was wow. Okay, I guess it was a good idea to reopen. Parang ganun ang may-
Yeah.
that was
It
how I
it's
felt.
it's yeah. Do you miss it?
Sometimes, but not. To be honest, not running the bar. That was one of the things I had agreed with the Guaylos guys when we did Guaylos Dread.
Oh,
Was I don't want to
Guaylos.
have anything to
Yeah.
do with,
Guaylos.
I
Yeah.
don't want to have anything to do with F&B. I don't want to go to the kitchen. I do not want to clean. I do not miss cleaning toilets. Okay, that's one thing. I do
Oh
not
my gosh.
sweeping the floor. I do not miss. Let someone else take care of that. I'll take care of the bands and stuff. Yeah, and then I miss the gigs. I miss organizing them. I miss them, but I also don't miss the pressure of every night kasi has to be an event. So
Mm.
it was a lot easier before. So every Friday, Wolfgang's playing in Atrium, diba? So wala kang pressure there kasi Friday they'll show up, their crowd will show up, and you make
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
But concept of Dread is every night is you don't have puesto. So every night you'd have to come up with something. And then what would make people go on this Thursday rather than on Wednesday? Why would they go here? So you'd always have to have concept. That I don't miss that so much because there's so much pressure talaga. And that was our challenge with Eastwood was at that time, ang dami ng bars. You had Magnet, you had Sagiho, you had all these bars na opening up all around Metro Manila with live bands. EDSA kasi wala kang competition. You had Myrick, was just playing folk music at the time, or 70s bistro. Wala kaming competition.
Yeah.
But come EDSA, yun, it became a challenge already kasi you had a lot of bars. So you had to have something. Why would you watch Sandwich in Dredd rather than in Sagiho? Diba? So
Exactly. Yeah, if you're in Makati, why would you go all the way to Cubao, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So ayan, that I don't miss. I know that was a lot of pressure. That was very stressful. And you imagine you bring, let's say, if Wolfgang was still around at the time, Wolfgang would play there. You'd be worried whether people will show up or not. Because what do you call this? What if they didn't? Wala kang pambayad sa kanila.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
So that I don't.
That's good, man. So Patrick, before we go, I just wanna say this. What you did, I wanna thank you, because what you did out of passion and love for music, you created a culture, man. You really did. You and your cohorts who started this, you really created a culture that is such a defining trait nowadays. If you're a Filipino, the younger people will always say, "Oh, how was it before in Club Dredd? How was it with Wolfgang or what the Eheds and all that?" Because it was such a huge subculture that it could not be denied. You can't just brush it off. It's like the era of Sila Pepe Smith. You can't just brush it off. And the same thing happened with our era. You can't just forget about it. And you helped create that. So thank you very much, man. You're a supporter of the arts, Pat. You're a supporter of the arts, and it's people like you are very valuable. There has to be more people like you who think like you, and doing it without a marketing strategy. because you love it because you love it so much, now. Okay, let's do this. It's fun. It's not work, and of course, when it becomes work, then it's challenging and all that. But still, because of your love and passion of music, and your love of local music and local bands, you actually created, a culture by accident. And
I realized that there were a lot of people that liked what I like. That's the thing that we learned. Kasi iba yung it's like, when I was in college, we felt we were my minority. But it turns out that, you had rockers like Wolf in Makati, and you had these rockers in Laguna and rockers in Pampanga that all, happen to, if you play AC/DC, they're all going to go like this.
Yeah, exactly. So yes.
It turns out that there's a group of people that are like that. You play reggae and then they dance the reggae.
Yeah.
So we weren't weirdos, and so that was that was the thing. I guess I was lucky that there were actually people like that, and I was able to put them together.
Yeah, dude, that's what you did, man. You built the church, man, and that's what I mean about creating a culture. All of these people that like the same music, they came out of their, let's go out and watch live music. Let's go out and then that's when you meet people. It's like that's how I met all these great people. Some of these people are not so great, but most of them are great. I'm still in touch with all these people from back then. I'm still talking to you now.
I'm looking at if I was to tell people in the 90s, okay, there's this band you have to watch. They're called the Melodies. It's got members of Wolfgang, Parokya, and Sugar Hiccup together in one band. It's like, whoa, I gotta watch them. It's like, galing. It's like,
yeah, I'm in the band, and I'm psyched too. Because my bandmates are all
the crowd of Wolfgang, the crowd of Sugar Hiccup, and the crowd of Parokya are three totally different crowds, di ba? But
Yeah.
they happen to be in the same band. It's like, wow.
But then,
Aliw.
but then with your mentality, a band like us would like be so welcome in Club Dredd,
Yeah.
and that's how
Mm,
Club Dredd was. You had that air of acceptance. To tell you the
mm,
truth, man, I we had reservations from playing for the first gig we played in Dredd. We were
mm.
really scared, man. We were scared that these people are gonna beat us up because we're Makati Konyo kids, whatever. We had
Yeah,
that
the kids in
expectation
Makati,
because
yeah.
yeah, because there was still that thing. But then when we
Mm,
played, and it was a great first gig in Club Dread. It was
mm,
great. I know I don't remember it, but I know it was great because I fell in love with Club Dread right away. It's like I want to play here all the time. I want to play here all the time because these are the real people who are watching in this place. You know, I mean, not to diminish the people in Makati; they were real too. But the people
mm.
in Makati who were watching us there, a small group were the elites. That was the small
Mm.
group. Most of
No, but
those
like I
people
said,
were
man, what you discovered was that there are people that like your music, not just in Makati but in QC, and then later on
yes,
in San
all,
Pablo
o-
and
all over the country.
Mindanao.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. But yeah,
And
that
then right
first,
now, even in LA, I'm sure you've got fans of Wolfgang in LA, di ba? I
oh
mean,
yeah, yeah,
uh-uh.
yeah, most of them, if I've met these fans, and a lot of them are my friends now because they're cool people, and here in the States, there's no such
They
thing as
like Wolfgang,
rockstar, pal, you know.
they like Wolfgang, they must be cool.
Oh yeah, definitely, man, for sure. Wolfgang fans are the coolest, man. So
Uh,
anyway, so yeah, I mean, so there you go. I mean, you are you and your cohorts and Robbie and all of them, you were important to this cause that I still feel it, man. I can still feel that Pinoy rock 90s
mhm,
thing because it's also the fans, man.
mhm,
When I post something about Wolfgang or during the 90s, everyone they just post positive, positive, positive. Yeah, I remember
mhm,
those times. They were great. I was in high school. I was in college.
mhm.
So it's like it's still alive in these people, and
I'm glad people still remember it and remember it nicely. I
I
mean, there's
know, and I think
a
I'm
lot worse
realizing it,
things to be remembered about. Diba?
and I think big part of it is because it hasn't been repeated, that kind of a scene
Yeah, I'm
where
trying
you
to
go
imagine.
out and watch a band, and then and then these people that you see when you watch live music in these clubs, you don't see them during the week. You only see them there because they're a specific kind of people. You're the same. You're all the same kind of freaks. And then on Monday you go out into the world, and then people think you're weird and, oh man, with long hair and all that shit. But
Or
then
the
when you come
tattoos.
to Club Dread, when you come to weekends, to come to Kalye, oh my God, it's home.
Everyone's the same.
Everyone's the same, man. It was great talking to you, dude.
Great talking to you, Wolf.
Man, next time you're in the States, we have to hang, pare.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wait, what time is it ba there ngayon? It's like
It's
3 in
almost
the
2.
morning.
I'm still
Okay.
on Club Dread time. I'm still on Club Dread time, pare.
Okay. Dapat may beer tayo. Ayun yung ano, next time may beer tayo pag interview,
Oh
okay?
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
Sige.
anyway, so WGRS talk with Patrick Reedenbach. It
Hmm.
was a pleasure, and I'll see you soon, man. Take care over
I'll
there.
see you too.
All right, bye,
Bye, Wolf.
man. See ya. Peace.